Thank you very much for joining us from whatever part of the country that you are watching us from. And you are welcome to the Talk Circle. This is the place where we discuss about anything and everything concerning the youth and society. My name is Cephas, Kimani. Today we have an interesting topic that I will be joined by my guest, whereby we are going to discuss more and further in depth on it. But before we start, I would like to explain on the topic majorly, which is financial literacy. Financial literacy is the confident understanding of concepts including savings, investing, debt, and that leads to an overall sense of financial well-being and self-trust. Whenever you are financially literate, it helps you at least to know when to invest, how to invest, and also maybe to focus on the solving solutions at which you can solve a problem accordingly before getting into deeper depths. I'm joined by a guest who is going to introduce himself, whereby we are going to continue with this discussion for much, much further. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Nickson Isoka. I'm the manager at Tramom Sacco, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much for coming. So today we are going to discuss on matters concerning financial literacy. And we have seen that even from last week, we had discussed on a matter of entrepreneurship. And so through the matter of entrepreneurship, we came and realized that majority of the youths are not really having the mental state, the proper mental state in starting a business. And even for those who are currently in businesses, they do not know how to invest. What is your take on that matter also?
Okay, basically, all young people need to actually understand what financial literacy is all about. They need to be able to know how to go about managing their resources, that is the money they get, because the moment that knowledge is not there, then we actually headed to situations that will not be good in life.
That's right.
So we encourage everybody, information is everywhere. As long as you are earning something, we say you should also know how do you manage whatever you're earning.
That's right.
Yes.
So, for example, if someone or a youth out there who is either employed or under self-employment,
yes,
and that person maybe has just begun to be in the industry, regardless of whether it's formal employment or self-employment, and this person does not really have the mental capacity or capability of, running or knowing the methods or way to invest, what will be your own take concerning also that?
Okay, my take would be that the moment you start earning income as a person, as a young person, there are basic things that you need to be able to know and to be able to do as a person. One of these issues basically is to ensure that every time you earn, you actually do some saving. Mm-hmm. That one is very, very, very fundamental. Mm-hmm. Because it is only through the savings that we do that we are actually able to avail resources for investment.
Right.
If you start earning without also understanding that part of that income must be saved, then you are not doing the right thing, and you need to actually correct and move to a situation where you will start actually putting aside something for the purposes of thinking about tomorrow.
That's right.
Yes.
And do you think even the parents have a major role to play for their kids while they're growing up in a way that maybe they can show them or even teach them on matters concerning savings also, or the path to take for a proper saving method?
Yes, very true. Parents play a key role in what children are able to learn, and these are the children who actually become you. So, children mostly learn by observation.
Right.
The parents' relationship with money is very key in shaping how the children will also be able to relate with money. So as a parent, you're supposed to start educating your children on how to manage money.
Yeah.
You're supposed to start teaching them about saving.
Right.
You're supposed to start telling them that the day you start earning, please put aside something.
Right.
You are supposed to show them how you are managing this money. I was speaking to somebody and he was saying our dad used just to tell us we would go to school, but we never knew what he used to do. But he would tell us this month, no, we will do some saving.
Right.
So it is something that we need to make our children know how do we manage the responsibilities that we have. It will actually go in a long way in preparing them for that day when they start doing something.
That's right.
Yes.
And you've talked about how the parents are supposed to teach their kids from when they are early, from an early age. But also let's look at our educational system also. Is there the proper channel in our education system at which the students are properly guided in a way that even after they come from doing their learning or from the learning institutions, when they get employed or whenever they get into other businesses of themselves, that they can manage to properly, control themselves and be able, to be financially literate, especially in knowing when and how to save also?
Okay, I would say our education system has a problem because it trains youth how to earn money, but not how to manage the money.
Yeah.
We earn money, but we do not know how do we manage it. And if you do not manage money well, then what it means is that when you start working, let me talk about those who are lucky to be working somewhere
Right.
and earning some income. It means that the first 3 or 4 years you realize guys are in debt, and before they realize they'll spend the next 15 years in a debt cycle.
Right.
Because they were never prepared that when you start earning money, what next?
Right.
So I think our education system should also start bringing in an aspect of how should money be managed.
Right.
We should now start teaching our children how to budget. We should start teaching them how to invest.
Right.
What are the good investments to do?
Right.
How should I be able to, how do I raise capital? Because if you walk out there, guys will tell you, I would wish to do business,
Right.
but I don't have the capital.
That's right.
So we need to start bringing into our education system a scenario where we are teaching our children that when you start earning, start saving, raise the capital.
Right.
And we also have to start telling our children that every money that a person gets is a seed in their hands.
Yeah.
So this seed can actually be consumed, it dies. But when we invest it in an idea or a venture, it will be able to grow and actually bring more returns into the future.
Right.
So the money that you earn as a young person is a seed. Why do we speak to young people? We speak to young people because it is at this age bracket that lives are actually destroyed or lives are made. And we have to understand that whether you like it or not, life revolves around money.
Right.
Life revolves, everything about life is about money.
It's about money.
How your children grow up is about money. Your relationship with your spouse is about money.
Right, right.
So if you don't get it right where money is concerned, then that is why we are having many problems of either youth who are not able to actually, when they lose jobs, they cannot cope.
Right.
You realize people are doing very funny things because they were not prepared to understand that money is a seed
Right.
in your hands, which you can either use it properly to benefit you in the long run, or use it badly and you lose it. So it is very important that we start bringing engagement in our school system to train our people, to prepare them of that day you get money.
Right.
How should you behave?
That's true.
Very important.
And we have seen scenarios whereby, especially for the youths, regardless also of the educational institutions, we've come to realize that majority of the youths, whenever they get money in bulk, they end up spending it in bulk and in a fast manner, not knowing or thinking about tomorrow. So what do you think, or what's your own take concerning the matter to which an individual can also fall into debt because of overspending rather than saving? Yeah.
Now, one fundamental thing that everyone needs to understand is that when you get money in bulk, there is a trap in that scenario.
Right.
Reason being, this money that has come to you in bulk, you will not be getting it every day. So the first idea that you should be having it, I'll just take you back to what I said earlier, that this is a seed.
Right.
I need to plant it or to invest it in a way that it will be available for me to use in the long run. I need also to ask myself, how do I grow this money that I've gotten to be able to become, to increase?
Yeah.
Because if you do not grow money, money will always lose value.
True.
So you need to see, how do I grow this money? I have $1 million shillings today. How do I make it 2 million? And actually I say every young person needs to be asking himself, the amount I have, whether small or big, how do I make it to grow?
Yeah.
Because the money you have, if it is not made to grow,
Right.
then it will lose value, and at the end of it, it will not be, it will not have value, it will not be able to do what it's doing today.
Yeah.
So you have to look into the future and tell yourself, where do I want to be in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 20 years? And that is a decision that we make today.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we have been in a, in a pandemic situation from the 2019, and things have been really bad for majority of the people, citizens in Kenya, in a way whereby you find that some have lost even their jobs. The businesses that some even had started, they had started it through loans also. What are some of the right, methods at which an individual maybe can still try to rise up and begin or even continue with their businesses, but at least save something little, even as the pandemic or the hard times are still going on?
Now, in times of hard times, like what has happened to us in the past 2 years or so,
Yeah.
it is true that businesses have suffered. Now, if you are running a business and you had debt to service, the first thing you need to do is to visit your finances. Have a discussion with them.
Right.
Tell them my business is not performing well. How do we help each other?
Right.
Don't do the mistake that most people do, which is to either keep quiet or run away. No, take yourself there.
Right.
Have a discussion. Tell them my cash flows were this much. They've reduced to this much. How do we reorganize this debt in a way that I can be able to service at lesser installments and also still be able to run my business?
Right.
And when businesses are affected, one of the things you have to do is you have to innovate.
Right.
Because the margins that were there are no longer there.
Yeah.
So you have to go back and rethink your business model. Rethink what is necessary and what is not necessary. You've seen what companies have been doing. Some have actually downsized. What are they trying to do? They are trying to actually rethink the model and say, how do we survive during this tough time?
Right.
So every business you have to rethink that business.
Right.
Ask yourself what is necessary, what is not necessary. What can I do without? And also understand how best do I serve the customer.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the customer is a king in every business.
That's right.
You make the customer happy, you are in business.
Right.
You make the customer not happy, you are out of business.
That's right.
So basically, I would say rethink the business, innovate around the business. Ask yourself, how do I do things at a lower cost?
Right.
When COVID came, what most organizations did, what they did was to embrace technology.
Yeah.
Because technology meant that we now require lesser office space because guys can work from home.
Right.
It also meant that we can actually do a lot with lesser people.
Right.
So in times of tough economic times, you have to rethink the business model.
Right.
Look at it critically, understand where you can downsize, understand what can actually work for you.
That's right.
Yes.
And even still during this pandemic, time, we've seen that a lot of credit unions, maybe even some banking system, they also came out and they say that they will try and assist the citizens, basically in a way that even if you're given a certain loan, you are not going to be overcharged on the interest. How can an individual himself or herself identify which credit union that person is most suitable for, or what the credit union is more suitable for them?
Okay, thank you very much. You asked a very important question.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of financial institutions out there. And it is good for one to take time to try and research on what type of financial institution would be good for them.
Right.
There are those businesses that run through the microfinance. There are those that run through the credit unions, which in Kenya we call the Sacco. There are those that run through the banks. So it is important for you to look at your costing, the cost of capital, and ask yourself, if I borrow this money at this interest rate, and this is what I'm doing, will I be able to generate enough to pay back and also make profit? So that is a question you have to ask yourself even before you actually go for that training from a financial institution.
Right.
Because, if you do not ask yourself that question, there are businesses that have taken the wrong decisions as far as credit is concerned. They've borrowed at very high rates. Now, what is happening progressively? Their capital is being taken. Their capital is actually being actually absorbed because of the high interest rates that are out there. So it is important to ask the questions before you actually even think of even getting credit.
Right.
You need to ask the right questions. What is the interest rate? What are the other costs? There are also those costs. We can tell you the interest rate is 15%.
Right.
but we've not told you about appraisal fee.
Right.
We've not told you whether there will be other insurance charges. We've not told you whether there will be other charges that will come with that kind of a facility.
Right.
So it is important to ask to ask
Yourself.
the financial institution you're working with, can you give me a total breakdown of the costs
Right.
and how much I will pay?
Okay.
Most people are always excited about getting the money.
The money, yeah.
Then they forget the details.
Right.
But the devil is always in the details.
Yeah.
That's what guys say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have spoken on the individual who maybe wants a loan from the credit unions. But now let's shift gears onto the credit unions themselves. Before giving that loan, what is the way, or what are some of the methods that they take in order to look at the credit scores of an individual before even giving that person that kind of loan, in a way that in case it comes to paying, that person won't feel like having a greater burden for them?
Okay, the way credit unions approach credit is through a scenario where we say, first of all, they insist that you become a member. When you become a member of a credit union or a Sacco for that matter, you are told to actually start a journey of saving. Because credit unions exist to encourage a saving culture among people. That is what Saccos are all about.
Right.
I use the term Saccos because it's more,
Yeah.
it's more
Known,
common
yeah.
and easier to understand.
Yeah.
When you join a Sacco, they'll tell you, can we start doing saving? They'll ask you to do saving maybe for a period of 6 months before you can access credit.
Right.
Or some for a period of 3 months before
Right.
you can access credit.
Right.
Then now that day that you come for credit, they'll tell you, we need to understand your cash flows. Because loans are always given against cash flows, not even against the collaterals that we talk about.
Yeah.
They will come and evaluate your cash flows. If you are a salaried person, they'll be looking at your payslip. If you are a business person, they'll be looking at your cash flows.
Yeah.
How do your sales behave? What are your costs? And then from there, they will now come back and have a discussion with you, where we are now asking ourselves, can you be able to manage the installments?
Right.
That is actually a discussion that comes in even before you are actually given the amount of money you need. Can you be able to service the installments?
Right.
Now, if now it is understood that you are able to service,
Yeah.
then now we can now proceed with the loan process.
That's right.
Yes.
So does it, is it free to everyone? Let's say, even if a youth comes there and he is employed or has a business, still he can be allowed through the process also?
Yes. Actually, anybody can join a credit union. Anyone can join one.
Yeah.
Most of the credit unions we have, or the Saccos we have in the market, are open bonded. So anyone, whatever thing you do, the only thing you need to do, you need to be an adult, aged 18 years and above, and you need to be doing something that is productive.
Right.
And you need to be a Kenyan.
Right.
If you are a foreigner, you
Yeah.
can use your passport.
Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
And let's say, for example, a youth can start that business, or maybe the business also is, at the peak of itself. And that person needs maybe some cash in bulk. Do you by any point give some advice as you lend the loans also on the habit of spending it before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, in Saccos, one of the pillars of all Saccos is education. We believe in Saccos that you have to engage your people,
Right.
train them on how to utilize the credit they are receiving.
Right.
So you realize that all the Saccos across the country always have what we call training days where they interact with their members.
Right.
Where they tell their members that for this Sacco to benefit you, when you take credit, kindly invest it in income generating activity. Do not invest it in things that do not generate income. So we engage members so much in terms of utilization of the credit facilities they receive and how they are also supposed to do their businesses.
Right.
We bring in experts to also train them. For instance, you realize that in most Saccos, they've actually been able to segment their members. So they understand that these are members in business, these are members in, let's say they are doing tea farming. They will have experts actually talking to the farmers.
Right.
If you are doing chicken farming, we will actually be able to bring in experts to actually talk to you about how you can actually do this farming effectively.
Right.
So that is one of the pillars of the Saccos. And that is why we encourage everybody, young people specifically, to start this journey.
Yeah.
The earlier you start, the better.
The better.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And also now let's shift gears onto maybe our national government also as well. Is there some things, or do you think there are certain methods that you feel that they have also, put over, to assist the youth?
Yes, the government has also been very youth focused. That's why you've seen the government doing things like youth fund. That's why you've seen the government saying that now they are allowing tenders to be done by youth. So the government has also really tried to be youth focused.
Right.
They've also really tried to open up opportunities for the young people. You've seen the Ajira program and so many other programs that target the youth.
Right.
So the government is also very focused on the youth.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Right now we are going to take a small commercial break, and I'll still continue this discussion on our next segment, whereby we'll still continue discussing on the financial literacy. We are coming straight and live to you from our headquarters here in Mombasa County on your favorite talk show, that is the Talk Circle Show. We are going to see you in just a moment. Continue engaging with us on all our social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and also at our website, that is www.bosstv.co.ke. Don't go too far. Welcome back to the Talk Circle. This is the place where we discuss on factors that truly do affect the youth and society. Today we have a very interesting topic that we are discussing, which will enable, to inform you or to educate you, and also to basically inspire you more concerning, financial knowledge on how you can plan, and be an advocate in becoming an entrepreneur. I am joined by my guest here still continuously, whereby we are still going to continue on this topic, whereby we are going to both give views on the discussion on matters of financial literacy. So keep on staying tuned and continue being with us. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had left on the topic also concerning the national government, what it has done by itself in order to promote or to assist the youths out there on methods or knowledge-wise on how to, plan for themselves when it comes to finance. And what do you think also the society, or on your own take, how has the society hold the hand of a youth to assist?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
The society, in a big way, the youth learn from what they see in society.
Right.
And in some ways, we can say the society has not really done very good for the youth in terms of training them as far as financial literacy is concerned.
Right.
However, I would still say all is not lost. There are ways that the society is also trying to help the young people to be able to understand how they need to handle their money. This is actually through the programs that we see different leaders running across the country. We've seen different leaders actually having forums for the border people.
Right.
We've seen different leaders across the country having forums for the business people. And we also understand there are also so many other financial institutions that are also keen on training the young people in terms of how best they can be able to harness their potentials and manage their resources well to ensure that they utilize and get maximum benefit from the financial resources that are at their disposal.
All right.
Yes.
All right. We have also seen that recently most of the youths have engaged themselves on the online financial services, maybe that offer loans or maybe credits. Do you think that there is more importance to it, or it brings vices to the youths financially?
Okay. The online financial platforms are good, and they're also bad at the same time. There is a saying in Kenya that we've trained our youths to spend before they earn.
Right.
That we've given them credit before they even learn how to save. We've given them access to credit before they learn how to earn.
Right.
So if you look at it across the country, you realize that most youth are already in debt. Even before they learn how to earn, they're already in debt. So if these platforms are utilized well, they are good. But if they are not utilized well, then they become a problem. Because you'll find young people who have loans in Tala, have loans everywhere, in all the platforms. And this becomes a problem because now they are listed in CRB, They cannot access credit in other financial institutions because they were able to access credit online. So my advice to young people out there is only take credit when it is very necessary. Do not take credit because you've been enticed to.
Right.
Or you've seen an advert you can now access. This you can now access will turn out to be a trap for you. Only take credit that you need.
Right.
Don't take credit that you don't need. And always understand that credit is only beneficial if it is utilized to generate revenue, not to consume.
Not to consume.
So credit should not be consumed. It should be geared towards generating revenue.
Right.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, maybe someone is saving for the future, maybe in order to buy something in bulk. Is it more advisable for that person or the individual as a youth to continue saving, and then when the money is there in full, that person can buy the commodity or maybe a piece of land? Or is it more advisable for someone maybe to get that item and then continue or begin paying for it while he has it? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the aspect of the journey towards acquiring maybe assets, you can save to acquire. When you save to acquire, it means when you acquire, you are not under pressure to service.
Right.
But when you borrow to acquire, it means you have to have done the mathematics right and understood that your cash flows will be able to support the repayment installments that you're supposed to do so that you repay the credit.
Right.
So that is mathematics that a young person has to do first before he actually goes to the aspect of financing the asset through credit.
Okay.
If possible, save. And
Yeah.
we say when you are starting a business, it's more safer to utilize personal savings.
Right.
It would borrowing can come in after now the business has kicked off.
That's right.
But when you start a business with entirely credit money, you also need them to be having ways of paying that loan or credit, even if the business will not be able to pick up. Yes, because if the business doesn't pick up and it's a startup,
Right.
then you'll be stuck in it.
That's right.
Yes.
Most people also ask, why is it important, to save for, a family emergency, as well as, maybe, it's not like every single day we plan or expect negative things to happen to our loved ones. But at the end of the day, why is it so important that these days, even the National, Health Insurance Society, they tell us and they still urge us to continue saving for, for the future benefits or for the emergency for our families.
Thank you very much. The life that we live, nobody knows about tomorrow.
Right.
And challenges are part of life. Problems can come anytime. So it is advisable that as you live as a young person, understand there will be that day when the things you don't expect will happen. Now, when they don't happen, now you are, if you had done some saving, emergency saving, you will be okay to go.
Yeah.
But if you did not do the emergency saving and then the unexpected happens, then that is when you find yourself, you can actually be brought down or be taken into credit because of such scenarios. So we advise that when the days are good, please understand that bad days will come.
They will come, definitely.
When days are good, know that it won't be long before the bad days come. And in life is all about cycles. If it rains today, we know that the sun will come up. If the sun is up, we know that it will rain. So that is how life is.
Right.
That's what we have to do.
Right.
Yes.
Let's shift gears onto, identification theft, whereby we find that majority, sometimes there has been complaints that an individual can take personal information of someone, like even on the online, financial services credits, that someone takes your information, personal information. Has there been proper restrictions whereby if that happens, that person will face the law accordingly?
Okay, basically it is your responsibility to take care of your information. It is also important for you to be keen on how you keep that information. While there are structures to assist you to be safe online, but the responsibility rests with the user. The responsibility rests with you as a person. That is squarely on you. But there are all the systems people have actually tried to make it more safer.
Right.
But as much as they try, there is that information, if it leaks out to the bad guys, then you're done.
Then you're done, definitely. Yeah.
So as much as the law is there, but it cannot protect you where I can actually impersonate you. Even if the law will come in, but it will come in later. So what we tell young people is, please, understand what can be shared. Understand what can be shared and what cannot be shared. Never share your PIN, never share your passwords.
Right.
Yes.
Even to your spouse also.
And don't use them in places where other people can actually come across.
Right.
Yes.
When we talk about savings, we normally save because of our future.
Yes.
But do you think sometimes that the value of that money as the future progresses, such as maybe 10 years ago, if someone had tried, continually saving, but then the pandemic came and hit, and then things began being expensive, what sort of impact do you think negatively makes that happen?
Okay, it is good to save because, as I've said, life has so many uncertainties.
Right.
If you are in employment, you can lose your job. If you are in business, the business can also fail to perform.
Right.
Fail to be good.
Right.
So when those things happen, the fallback plan becomes your savings.
Right.
Now, if you have adequate savings, you are able to weather the shocks. But if you do not have adequate savings, then the shocks will actually be very severe for you. So that is why it is very important that when the days are good, save.
Save.
Yes.
Right.
When the days are good, save. Number two, life will always throw opportunities at you as a person. Now, when life throws opportunities to you, it is only those who have prepared for those opportunities through savings, who have extras, who have money to take advantage of the opportunities, that will actually be able to take advantage of those opportunities.
That's true.
So while we save for the future, we also save to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that life will bring our way.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Speaking on saving, because that is something that we have touched on for quite a bit now. What should an individual, by his or her own self, especially in a disciplined kind of manner, because anyone can start and say, we'll start today saving. But when the problem just hits, even before a week begins, that person has already given up. The money has already been put somewhere else. What sort of discipline should an individual have before, making that decision that is going to be on a saving kind of mode?
Thank you very much. Saving, as you put it, it is a discipline. You have to train yourself that before you look at your problems, you save first. Financial experts call that paying yourself. You can work for your landlord in this country, you can work for your people, you can work for your children, you can work for your spouse.
Right.
But it is only that money that you save that you can say you are paying yourself.
Right.
So you need to understand that you have to ensure that when you make money, you pay yourself by saving.
Right.
Now, this saving is a discipline. Now, there are also options in the market that help you to save money where you cannot access it easily.
Right.
Okay? And that is where now the Saccos come in. When I put my money in my bank account, I have my ATM with me. I can just be walking around and I say, let me do something wrong. But when I do in the Sacco, where now I'm told this is long-term saving, I cannot access. As much as I have problems, when I go to the Sacco, they tell me, just pick up a loan that you pay, but we will not give you your savings.
Yeah.
So that is where Saccos come in handy, where they are actually helping you to save continuously over a long period of time.
Right.
I have seen people who have confessed or testified that when I lost my job, the only saving I had was that one that I had in the Sacco.
Right.
I did not have anything else anywhere.
Right.
So it means that the Sacco, through that discipline of saying this money is not withdrawable, really helps you to maintain that discipline.
Right.
Because most of us do not have that discipline. If money is where we can access, my friend will access.
Yeah, that's true.
So understand where you can put that money in a way that you cannot access it.
Right.
In the long term.
Right.
If you ask somebody who worked for 10 years, show us what do you have?
Yeah.
If somebody was in a Sacco, he'll tell you, now I have 800,000 that I've saved for these 10 years. Okay? But if somebody was, let's say, just keeping the money in his bank account, accessing it, then that money will not be there.
It won't be seen.
Because we lack the discipline.
Right.
So we have to look for ways to help ourselves embrace that discipline. And
That's
that is
true.
where the Sacco stands.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much, sir. I have also gotten a lot of things that I mainly never knew before. In like 3 minutes, maybe say you give them a parting shot to your viewer, and maybe you can tell them where they can find you and where you're also located. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, my parting shot to all the viewers watching me is that if you've not started the journey of saving, please start. We do not save because we have a lot. We save because it is important to save. The one who is earning big money save. The one who is earning small money save. We save because it is good to save, not
Right.
because we have excess. So my advice to you would be start that journey. The earlier you start, the better. It will really, really, really help you
Right.
where you are going. And I advise, if you've not started, start. Now, for those of us maybe who would wish to get in touch with me, you can. My office is actually in Changamwe. You can actually pay me a visit. Dynamic building. You'll be able to find me there.
All right, all right. So you're also welcome for another, session whereby we can still continue on this discussion, because it seems that there is a lot whereby we can discuss on matters concerning finance.
Yes.
Because the world currently rotates on finance, basically. And that is when, even here on this show, we try to really educate the youth, because they are the future. So we will welcome you once more, sir.
Thank you.
That has been all for On the Talk Circle, but we'll see you also next time right here on Boss TV with more information and more, topics that are more interesting for you. So we'll see you next time. Do have yourself a lovely, lovely weekend and a very, very good night.